Hi, how you doing? I'm Dodjira, Doge for short, and D for even shorter. I've been playing games since I had full control over my thumbs, which happened somewhere between 1992 and 1995. When I started playing video games, much like today, gaming was a world of haves and have-nots. Some people had a game. A lot of people have not a game. No games were free, and once you bought a game, you had everything in that game. It was all yours. You just had to find it. You did this by spending time and making memories, not spending money. Now, this was a solitary way to play video games, because the only time other people would affect your game is when some little would lie about Mew being under the truck at the SSN. F you, Eugene, you little lying piece of shit. I'll never get those hours back. This is where we got the stereotype that gamers were lonely introverts that enjoyed solitude, dark rooms, and covering their keyboards in Cheeto dust, and hate things like grass and friends, which, how dare you? My room has excellent lighting, but today the most popular games are 100% free. Everyone gets to be a have. The catch? Microtransactions, in-game monetization, skins, endless cosmetics, and drumroll please, FOMO. Am I really going to say back in my day? Back when I was a kid, if you didn't have something in a game, you only had to walk up to your buddy and say,
"Hey, that there thing's the bee's knees, Daddy-O. How'd you get it?"
Then they'd either be a complete legend and tell you, or they'd be a little like Eugene, look down their nose and walk away, leaving you to call the toll-free Nintendo hotline to ask a professional for advice. Today, complete legends are YouTube tutorials, and the Eugenes are the game developers themselves. But instead of gatekeeping secrets, they've invented something called paywalls. There's this super fun analogy about a frog in a pot and how you can slowly turn the heat up, and the frog won't notice until it's dead. Well, unfortunately, that's exactly what's happened in gaming. Games had and still have DLC, or special cosmetics you didn't really need if you didn't have the money. You were never made to feel like you were missing out. But that was then. Gaming companies would implement mechanics like seemingly endless grinding that you could avoid if you just gave them your allowance. I can grind for 100 hours or give you $20 and have the thing now? I mean, mathematically, that's a bargain. Thank you so much. All right, now just bend over real quick. Did you bring the loot? My most recent brush up with this kind of predatory game model was with the game The First Descendant. I was so excited for this game, but eventually hit a stopping point that gave me a choice. No groceries or forever grinding. Much to my chagrin, I went with the third option. I put the game down entirely, and that was a bummer. I missed out on a great gaming experience that a lot of people worked very hard to make a reality because A, I didn't have the time to grind, and B, I just didn't want to open my wallet. Granted, if this was the 90s, I wouldn't have been able to play the game at all. So I suppose it's better to have loved and lost than to have dropped $100 on an over-sexualized female character in a game so shamelessly catering to teenage boys. So let's just chalk it up to a demo and say I got it for free with a copy Nintendo Power. I believe it was some pretentious that directed Coffee and Cigarettes, okay film by the way, that once said, "Fast, cheap, and good. Pick 2. He was referring to food, but I think it's incredibly applicable to the games industry. Video games used to take years to give the consumer new content, not fast. Games were good. Games were relatively cheap. Now, I may have my millennial rose-colored glasses on here, but hear me out. Today, that model still exists, but there's another path gaming has taken. We're lucky enough to still have games like Spider-Man, Skyrim, Pokemons, Elden Ring, Black Myth Wukong, and even Final Fantasy VIIXYZ PDQ Rebirth. But we also have games like Fortnite, Valorant, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft, and yeah, even Overwatch. These are the two paths of gaming: PvP, free to play, and PvE, story-based games. Gaming has diverged, evolved, diversified, become ceaselessly annoying and incredible all at once. Better, stronger, faster, and it's all your fault. Here's why. Let's start with a young me's first console, the original fat Game Boy. I got it from a yard sale with a small stack of games that included Tetris, Castlevania, Rescue of Princess Blobette, and Pokemon Blue, among other things, like a little light-up magnifying glass attachment that never stayed on, and an extra speaker attachment that was already broken when I got it. The Game Boy didn't have a back panel, so one of my main tactile memories was the feel of the duct tape batteries on the back as I played. 4 AA's, by the way, and they needed to be changed out every half hour if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, the memories. But here's the thing. Nintendo got zero money from me or my parents. I got that Game Boy secondhand. To Nintendo, that Game Boy still belonged to some Eugene that was too cool to keep his copy of Pokemon Blue with a Squirtle and 2 level 3 Pidgeys on it. Was that better for me? Absolutely. Was it better for the future of those companies? Absolutely not. Now, it's easy to look at a huge company and say, hey, that's the bad guys that want to take all my money, get me hooked on and make me. But sometimes real people work for these companies, and I hate to say it, but the way we all bought games and enjoyed games in the past did not necessarily benefit the countless people that made our games. For better or worse, these companies made money when we bought a new game or console, and that's it. Full stop. And for that reason, these deviant little jokers had to run back to their dingy little bat caves, peer into their crystal balls, and ask Lucifer himself how they could get more money out of lonely kids hunched over their Game Boys in the back of their mom's station wagon. So what happened? Let's fast forward to today. The games industry is a pressure cooker for devs. You either need a game that takes forever to make and is very good so that it can recoup all your investments and development costs, or you need a game that can quickly and consistently put out mostly new content to make more money at a cheap dev cost. Gaming is now either slow, good PvE or fast, cheap PvP. I did this. You did this. Elden Ring took 5 years to make. Can somebody tell me how many Fortnite seasons that is? Look, the year is whatever it is when you're watching this video. My attention span is just as bad as yours. Who has time to play through an 80-hour story while sitting on their couch alone? Well, I do, but that's besides the point. It's hard to look at one gorgeous 4K Ultra HD 120Hz screen for that long. I have things to do, like scroll TikTok while I sit on the toilet and eat, so I can sit on the toilet and scroll TikTok more. Winning a match in Overwatch is just quicker than learning to beat a boss in Elden Ring. It just is. This is instant gratification versus delayed gratification. Both are, well, gratification, of course, but all I'm saying is don't expect a McDonald's cheeseburger to alter your perspective on food as a culinary art when it was cobbled together as fast and as cheap as possible. Now, am I saying PvE is better than free-to-play games? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. But each have their place. Is every battle pass and skin going to blow your mind? Absolutely not. But can you count on the next season of Fortnite dropping on time as always? Absolutely. It's consistent. It's always there. Now, when I need to feed the soul and I have the time, I sit down for some Michelin level A5 Final Fantasy. However, story-based games are consistently delayed and even released unfinished. But did Cyberpunk 2077 eventually get to the imaginative, innovative, memorable game it is today? Yes. Starfield, though? No excuses for Starfield. That shit in the My entire purpose for making this video isn't to trash you, me, or even Eugene. It's to point out, though at times it might seem bleak, the gaming industry has had to adapt to us, the gamers. We demand a lot. Whether you like to admit it or not, often we're just not satisfied. Just ask CD Projekt Red. But hey, if you find yourself frustrated more than entertained, switch it up, peel back the duct tape and change those batteries in your old Game Boy. Or just get lost in a game because God knows, whatever you play, it's always gonna be better than outside. Like and subscribe. Okay, bye.